Well, howdy neighborinos, and welcome, because today's video is about the 20 cold destinations you can't miss out on.
Mahalo, dude.
Aren't you cold?
Bro, I'm never cold. I was in Hawaii last week, freaking hitting gnar waves, dude. Round after round, just pow-pow. It's freaking crazy, dude. And that's why I want to make a video for you dudes today. The 20 dopest hotspots.
Dude, it's my day to film here. It's about the cold destinations, dude.
Dude, nah, today's a video for my blue water freaks. Where they at? Where they at?
Bro, I reserved the studio today.
You better watch yourself, dude. You know they call me the Scorpion, right? I got a mean sting.
Well, neighborino, get ready to be put on ice.
For this. All right, let's put.
So, you want to see the world, but you don't know where to go. Well, you're in luck, because here at LeBlanc, we have done the research for you. We have been traveling extensively over the past 4 years, and that is why today I wanted to put together my top 20 choices for keeping things nice and warm. Whether you're on a small budget or a big budget, there's all sorts of different choices in this list, ranging in pretty much every continent. Because each of these 20 destinations are my own personal recommendations, you'll be able to go down into the description after this video and find out more information about each of these destinations by watching my old videos. I should also mention this is not a ranked order because each of these places are different in their own ways. Alright, number one is definitely gonna go to Yasawa, Fiji, and the crazy thing is, you see this map right here? We threw a dart at this map and it landed very near to Fiji, and that's how we ended up finding this place. It was such an amazing trip. The most beautiful islands, very few people there. But the con to this all is going to be that you'll need a bit of money saved up, because as soon as you leave Nadi, the main island in Fiji, you're gonna be paying quite a bit for your accommodations, your food, and of course the transport. The ferries are ridiculously expensive, but sometimes you get what you pay for, and I highly recommend checking out Yasawa, Fiji. Numero dos is going to be going to Lisbon, Portugal, and typically I'm not much of a city lover, but this city really rubbed off on me. I was there during the summer and there was such a life to it. There's an energy that can be felt throughout. The colorful streets, the buildings are just absolutely beautiful, and one of the things that makes it really appealing, especially to Europeans, is that it's really affordable relative to most European cities. So if you're not opposed to spending your next vacation in a city, then check out Lisbon. Number 3 is going to be going to Oahu, Hawaii, and I think this is probably the place that I will settle down when I have kids, when I've got my family. I am in love with Oahu. It's got everything I could possibly want. It's got the North American comfort tied in with the beauty of the South Pacific, the most vibrant greens, the palm trees, flowers that you didn't know existed, all mixed and mashed and surrounded by beautiful blue water with dolphins jumping around. That is Oahu right there, and the food is amazing. From poke bowls to having some amazing acai bowls in the north. I can't describe how much I love this place. It is so full of adventures, and if you have a local to show you around, you'll have a totally different experience to it. The next one goes to Koh Mak, Thailand, and this is something that I'm very proud of finding, because after traveling Thailand quite a bit, going to where all the tourists go, going around the backpacker routes, I was like, why is it that nobody goes to the eastern side of the country? And that is where I found this beautiful island. If you're looking for an affordable beach getaway with blue water and some amazing surrounding islands like Koh Mak, which is a must-do day trip, and Koh Kud, then you have everything you're looking for right here. And because it's so close to Cambodia, right after you're done in the islands, you could actually easily do a trip by bus going all the way to Siem Reap, where you could see Angkor Wat and Tonle Sap. Basically my two favorite spots in Cambodia. Thailand is one of the places I know best. I was a student there, I lived there for probably close to 5 months, and so if you want to learn from my complete in-depth Thailand guide, also going to be linked down below. Number 5 is going to take us to Africa, the very northern tip of it, because unfortunately I have not yet traveled a ton of Africa, and that's definitely something that I'll be working on this year. But with that being said, Marrakech in Morocco was a very incredible cultural experience. Okay, the people weren't necessarily always a positive. In the tourist areas, they were actually quite rude, but everything else about Morocco made it amazing. Arabic and African culture coming together in one place to create a totally unique, diverse culture and landscape that you've never seen before. Even though I'm mentioning Marrakech, I have to say there's so many other cities around it, from Chefchaouen to Fez, that are totally worth exploring, so you could have a full 2-week itinerary seeing this beautiful country right here. The next one on the list is going to Cusco, Peru. Now, it's not technically always a hot climate, but certain times of the year, it definitely gets very warm. Cusco is an incredible destination with so many things you can do. Ancient Incan fortresses, the beautiful llama-filled Machu Picchu, the Sacred Valley, and one of my favorite things about it, the Peru Rail. This is a magical experience that you need to see for yourself at some point in your life. There is something very special about this place, and if the altitude sickness doesn't get to your head, then the food, the culture, and the overall experience of Cusco will make this place one of your best trips yet. And if you want to know how to travel all of Peru in depth, then you'll definitely want to check out my guide down below. Next one on the list is Quintana Roo, and I'm going to be naming a few places that might not technically fall into that province or state, whatever it is called. What is it? Might as well try to pretend to be smart for a second. Quintana Roo, yes, the Mexican state. From Tulum, Holbox, and Bacalar, these are 3 places that I recently visited, and I gave actually a really awesome budget guide to it. And one of the awesome things about Quintana Roo is that once you're outside of the main tourist destinations, you can do it extremely affordably. You could have lunch for as cheap as a couple dollars, you could find an accommodation for as cheap as $10. It's an unbelievable destination with so much to offer. It's got a great vibe for backpackers, it's got a ton of luxury resorts if you're wanting to stay in Cancun or in Tulum, where you can have some of life's most lavish things. No matter who you are, what your agenda is, as long as you're looking for some good sunshine, some blue water, as long as the Sargasso has not returned, well then this is your place. Now, as you guys probably know, I spent a lot of my time in Southeast Asia, and with that, one of my top choices for travel has been the Philippines. And today, I want to share with you another one of my local discoveries. This came back to my 3rd or 4th trip in the Philippines, where I said to myself, I don't want to go where everyone else is going. So I went on Google Maps and I started looking at random islands, and I started asking myself, how would I get from here to here? And using Google Images, I was able to see which of these islands had beautiful destinations, and that's why I want to share with you a series of islands that are quite close together that I think could be an amazing trip for you. With a direct flight from Manila to Tablas, you could get started on an island that almost nobody has been to. To be honest, it's not the most beautiful island in the world, but if you crave the feeling of getting lost, having a beautiful tropical experience with blue water, amazing sunsets, a large island to rent a scooter and just go around with no direction in mind, this is an amazing place to do it. It is a giant playground with amazingly kind locals that will gladly take you in, share their culture with you, and so much more. Now, after Tablas, you can easily take a ferry in either direction. If you want to enjoy the resort experience or have some good food, then you could take a boat over to Boracay, where you have a direct ferry there. As you may know, the government shut down Boracay for a good year, but it is now reopened and it looks better than ever. Some of the most beautiful water and sand I've ever seen. There was a reason this place got busy in the first place, and if you're looking for a somewhat touristy experience, you should go check it out. Now, if you want to continue on with the adventurous side, then we're going to take a ferry to the other side. Instead of going south, we're going to go to the east to a place called Romblon. And Romblon is once again an even less ventured island than Tablas was. You might see a handful of tourists during your trip, but there's a shot that you'll only see locals. And that's not a bad thing because the Filipinos are so kind and so hospitable. I really recommend that you go here because of one beach in particular that I have some incredible memories at, and that is Bombon Island. If it was a little bit more convenient to get to Romblon, this beach would be packed. But that's the amazing thing about it. There is almost nobody there. You should have it almost to yourself for some beautiful sunsets, beautiful blue water, and the amazing thing that I found out one night is that when you go swimming in the water, there's bioluminescent plankton that I cannot capture with a camera, but imagine the glowing lights in the water that move with the movement of your hand, the movement of the water. It's incredibly picturesque and you have to check it out. Boracay, relatively expensive, but if you go to Tablas and Romblon, this can be a serious budget backpackers trip. Now, number 9 is a place you probably never expected to see in this video, and it's a place I can't recommend for the warm environment, but I was just recently in the Yukon, the north of Canada, and this is a place that blew me away. Its landscapes were so incredible, and because this is a very seasonal place, this beautiful winter wonderland turns into a rather warm natural escape. From mountains to running rivers to, of course, the bears waking up from hibernation, there is so much to see and do in the Yukon, and although I've not yet been there in the summer season, this is one of the places I hope to go quite soon. And the next on our list was a personal favorite trip of mine quite recently to Java. And Java has so much to offer that I'm gonna keep it really brief and just say if you want to check out more, check the video down below. It's got waterfalls, it's got volcanoes, it's got another volcano, it's got some more waterfalls, and it's got countless adventures that very few people have seen. Certain places do get quite busy with especially the Chinese group tours. I don't know how they found it before the North American audiences did, but that seems to be the pattern there. But nonetheless, you can still have these incredibly remote experiences in places like Tupac Sewu, a waterfall that was so beautiful I couldn't believe it wasn't packed. Videos linked down below. Now, after doing Java, I took a flight from the Surabaya airport directly, not so directly, to Raja Ampat. I flew to another island. From there I had a ferry. From that ferry I had another ferry. From that ferry I had a private motorboat or something like that. It was like really hectic and tough to get to Raja Ampat, but that's why they call it the last remaining aquatic paradise. It is challenging to get to, and I believe that's what's preserved this incredible biodiversity. Countless species of fish, from manta rays to I don't know if there's belugas. Lots of fish in one place. You need to check it out if you're a diver, but one catch, you will be paying quite a bit, especially when it comes to transportation. Motorboats are incredibly expensive. Flights are expensive. Accommodations, really expensive when you consider Indonesian pricing. Again, I think you need to be a diver to make this worth your while, but this whole area is an unexplored paradise, so go check it out. The very next one on the list is actually where I'm currently filming from. Welcome to Bali, Indonesia. This is where I've been living now for over a year, and I've been hopping around here for about 3 years. I love this place. You'll definitely hear mixed reviews about Bali. Some people are completely against it. They don't want to be stuck in traffic. They don't want to go where all the other tourists go. But again, I want to remind you that all these destinations like Raja Ampat and Java, they're places that are easy to jump to after doing Bali. And the amazing thing about Bali is it's a massive island that you can go to the north and see very few people. You can go to the surrounding islands like Java or Lombok and again, see very few people. So don't get so caught up in the I don't want to be one of the other tourists going to the exact same place, because first of all, there's a reason they come here. This place is amazing, the food is great, cost of living is cheap, the villas are beautiful, the rice terraces are incredible. But for me, the final thing that I think makes Bali a place for anybody is again what surrounds it. So come to Bali, check it out, and don't be afraid to go off the beaten path, because that's where some of the best adventures happen. If you're gonna come to Bali, I do have a full guide that shows all the best places to go. Honestly, it is the best use of your money if you're planning to come here. Best restaurants, best viewpoints, how to travel from place to place in a matter of 2 weeks. And if you're curious about it, I do have a free trial to it down below, so go check that out. And the next one on the list is going to be Dubai. This is not your typical hot getaway. Sometimes it might be so hot that you're like, just get me inside to the air conditioning. But if you're there in the winter months, it's actually the most perfect temperature. Dubai is actually the city, but UAE is the country, and there's so many amazing places to see in UAE. From downtown Dubai to JBR just south of it, to even going up to Sharjah, where I recently stayed at this amazing resort called Al Bayt. It just opened up. If you want a luxury Emirati style hotel, I have to recommend this one right here. And then even further north than that, going up to Malaysia, I recently had this amazing trip. First of all, they take you out over the dunes and you're going in this 4x4 truck where you feel like it's gonna tip, but we did not tip. Then from there, you're gonna watch a beautiful sunset with camels, beautiful mountains in the distance. And then from there, they take you to this really romantic dinner spot where they actually had this powerful telescope set up, and I was even able to attach my camera to it to get this shot right here. It was an unbelievable night and incredible value. Dubai can be expensive, it can be affordable. It has something for most people's budgets, so I highly recommend you check it out. Alright, the next place on the list is Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. This is an amazing, vibrant island with so much to see and do. But to be honest, I was only there for a single day because that's where my cruise stopped. I can't pretend to have a lot of information on it, but from the colorful town, the waterfalls, and so much more that surrounds the island, I really think this could be an amazing tropical escape. And one of the interesting things about it is that it's actually part of the United States. It is very easy to get there from North America, and so if you're looking for a hot tropical getaway, this might be the one for you. Moving our way around the Central Americas, we're now going to talk about Panama. Now, Panama is a trip I did 3 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I loved Panama City, but one place in particular that I want to talk about is the San Blas Islands. The San Blas Islands are remote, they're rather unvisited, and they have a few cool resorts. I stayed at this one resort right here, and it wasn't an ultra luxury place, it wasn't super cheap either, but it was basically bungalow living with no air conditioning, but because there was such a perfect breeze that went through the resort, I didn't need air conditioning. I felt comfortable all day long. It was an unbelievable stay. The food was great, it was freshly caught by the locals, and if you want to do San Blas on a budget, I've even heard of people getting tents and camping on some of these islands. I don't know if that's how I'd want to do it, but there are options to do it on the budget, and there's even some crocodiles. Kinda cool. The next one on the list is going to be, again, the Philippines. Now, Coron used to be one of my favorite places, and I'm kind of scared because I haven't been there recently, but I've heard it's gotten super busy. But let's be positive and let's put that all aside, because I have to tell you that Coron is the most beautiful place in the entire world. So even with crowds, I think it is a place that is worth your time, worth going to see, and it's a little bit expensive compared to the average Philippines price. The flights, the accommodations, and the transportation are all gonna add up a lot more than most of Southeast Asia, but it is not expensive comparing to North American prices. Coron is a picture-perfect fantasy, and if you get the chance, I highly recommend you go check it out. Number 17, Rottnest Island. Now this is a place that just brings a smile to my face. It's one of my best memories from traveling. It's one of my favorite videos. I went back and watched it recently and just kind of died laughing. Now, Rottnest Island is not your everyday island. It is surrounded by not just blue water, but potentially the bluest water. It's about a 1-hour ferry away from the city of Perth, and while it's not super cheap, it is so worth your money. There's this one animal that lives on the island. The local dwellers are known as the quokka. Picture a rat, but then picture the most beautiful rat you've ever seen. A rat that was so magnificent that you considered picking up that wild animal and just giving it a big kiss. That is what a quokka is. To me, at least. They hop around on 2 feet and they're friendlier than a Walmart greeter. They are just the cutest little things that you'll ever see. And again, it is not just about these animals, it's also about how beautiful Rottnest is, the fact that it's so close to Perth, but it is a must-see destination if you're gonna go travel Australia. Number 18 is gonna bring us right back to the Philippines. So, Siargao Island was a recent discovery of mine, about a year ago now. And with that, I went back even more recently, probably about 3 months ago, and that's where I found some amazing places that surrounded Siargao. So not only do you have main Siargao Island, Naked Island, you've got Guyam Island, you've also got the incredible Sugba Lagoon. This is an insane value package. It is a must-travel set of islands that you could probably spend about a weekend. Siargao is known as surfer's paradise. It's got some amazing up-and-coming restaurants that's starting to look a little bit like a baby Bali. It kind of has that pre-Bali boom look to it. I think it's really going to take off over the next few years, but in the meantime, it's not completely taken off and it still has that fun backpacker energy. It's got that it vibe. Everybody wants to be there. My second favorite resort experience in my entire life is a place I've been to twice. It's called Nai Palad, and Nai Palad is just mind-blowing luxury, but tied in with the beauty of the island. But for a honeymoon or a special event, this could be a great place to go. After almost 5 months of traveling the Philippines, it's one of the countries that I know best. So if you want to learn the best itinerary and how to make the most of your time and money, then definitely check out the link below. 19 is going back to Portugal, and I want to talk about the south of Portugal this time because Lagos is a place that has kind of gotten its name out there over the past couple of years, but it's a place that people are visiting for good reasons. Incredible cliff sides, a fun backpacker and traveler culture that's currently migrating there in fairly big numbers, especially in the summer, but that's not always a negative. In fact, for me, it's a positive. It means that you can go out, have good nightlife, you can meet new people. Long story short, go check out Lagos. The final one on my list is gonna be going to my good friend Hoi An. Hoi An is this beautiful and quaint village for backpackers, for travelers that are passing through Vietnam. It's located pretty much right in the center on the east coast, so it's by the water. And with that, there's some pretty cool day trips. You can go to the beach and stay at some of their beautiful resorts, or you can go and do the rock temple, which I don't remember its name, but it was definitely a pretty standout temple, one of my favorites that I've seen. If you're somebody that works the 9 to 5, then this might in itself be a good reason to come here because you can get tailor-made suits for under $200. Now the more you pay, the better the quality typically, but the value you'll find here is unbelievable. I actually bought 3 of these suits right after my backpacking trip and mailed them back home because I thought I'd be starting my full-time job as an accountant, but then I escaped. So those suits have never been used. But if you're working a job and you need suits, amazing. If you're a female, unlike myself, then they have some really beautiful leather goods like boots and high heels, and even for men you can get beautifully custom made leather shoes. Shopping is definitely one of the big draws to Hoi An, but it's not the only thing. There's just kind of a vibe to this place. It's definitely one of those places that you need to see it to understand it, but I think most people will agree that that's one of the highlights of Vietnam. 20 destinations, each of them having their pros and their cons. Which one is for you is totally in your hands, but if you want to do more research to figure that out, then again, check out all the links down below. If you want to learn in-depth information to the countries I know best, then check out the guides on my website. And guys, as you know, I make a new video every Saturday, and I think your buddy Tom or Charles, maybe it was your grandma, she told me the other day she wanted to travel somewhere hot, and I just don't remember who it was. So you may as well send it to your entire friend list to figure out who told me that, because it was a while ago. So just share it with your friends and family so that they can experience hot stuff too. That was the worst outro I've ever done, but we'll keep it. Alright guys, let's get lost again in the next one.